Today is Hanamatsuri or Vesaka. It is a day when we observe the birthday of historical Shakyamuni Buddha. When we surround the image with flowers. In Japan, this religious holiday began to be celebrated 1300 years ago during reign of the Empress Suiko, and it is now held widely through the country. Japan is the land of beauty, and its people are lovers of the beautiful. It is not strange then that the observance of the Buddha's birthday is marked with flowers, and that its more common name, Hanamatsuri, means flower festival. The birthday of the Buddha is usually held on April 8th because it is said that on that day the Buddha was born, a prince named Siddhartha Gautama, in the India Lumbini garden under the Ashoka tree in full bloom. The legend has it that the infant prince, on coming to this earth, took 7 steps and pointing one hand to the heaven and the other one to the earth, exclaimed, "I alone am the most honored one." The words also mean Buddha's or the fully enlightened one. This posture is depicted in the small image of the infant Buddha upon the altar today, which is surrounded by the beautiful flower. Later in the service, sweet tea will be ladled over the infant statue as an act of devotion to the fully enlightened one. It is on this day that we joyfully remember the birth of the Buddha and his life on earth. We are joyful because his life taught us how we can become enlightened too. We think of his birth and his life on earth like the beautiful unfolding petals of a flower in the warm sunlight, and we honor him by placing a flower on the altar at the foot of the statue. Let us remember his life, the truth he revealed to us. Quite often we forget that the Buddha was born to a wealthy family because we think of the simplicity of his life. Very often we forget that the Shakyamuni Buddha had grown up in a palace under the careful eyes of the protecting father. His father wished to shield him from the suffering of life that abounded outside the palace wall. We remember him as the one who found the release from suffering. Instead, yet, it is important that we realize how the Buddha searched for the truth in spite of his father's zeal to keep him ignorant of life. The Buddha himself went secretly to the east of the palace wall and saw the common people suffering from hunger, went to the west of the world and found the disease, went to the north and saw the pain and the loneliness of old age, and went to the south where they observed the death. All around him was the suffering. The 35 years old prince decided there was no happiness to be found in the material world, and he sought a way to save himself and others he saw in pain. One day, he left his wife and the child to the comfort of the palace, mounted his white Kamtaka and rode off into the surrounding Himalayan mountain. He left home wearing one hat, one robe, and one pair of shoes. He had left the materialistic life of the palace behind him to spend many years in gruelingly search for the truth about life and for a way to escape its pain. Today, we know the result of his search. We know he experienced one extreme and another without success. He underwent the self-indulgence of some religious sect of time and turned in disgust to the ascetics life. From this too, he emerged disillusioned. Neither of these extremes had released him from pain. Instead, he found the life of the indulgent to be painful in his glorification of the self, and he found the life of the ascetic to be unnecessarily painful in its denial of the self. The young prince had nothing to rely upon but himself. He settled underneath the blooming Bodhi tree in determined meditation was Zazen. He arose enlightened after many years of meditative sitting, and he began to teach the way of moderation. The way of enlightenment found by the Buddha was the true way of moderation. During the years he sat in meditation, he did not deny himself the sustenance that would give him bodily strength, and he slept a moderate amount so that his mind would be clear. His meditation and way of moderation resulted in his seeing the true nature of the life and the way of overcome its pain. He explained one morning as the light of dawn made the stars of the night faintly visible. Oh, how beautiful it is, all being endowed with the truth of the Tathagata. The Buddha had seen the truth of life engaging at the morning star, and he had realized that the true nature of all things. Another translation of his words has him say, I have achieved Buddhahood with all sentient beings. Those who were hitherto unenlightened will also achieve Buddhahood, bringing forth the light of humankind. The Buddha was saying that in all that can be seen with the eye, there is a Buddha nature, and that all is enlightened. However, the world of enlightenment is also hid from the eye, which often sees only the world of material things. The true nature, the Buddha nature, cannot be seen, even though it is not far from view. The Buddha was convinced that those new and enlightened to this truth can know it and bring forth the light of humankind. He found its truth sitting in meditation, Zazen, and as soon as he saw the Buddha nature in himself, he was able to see it in others. The Buddha rose to teach his followers to do the same. The way of Buddha is silent meditation. The Buddha himself entered into the enlightened world while sitting in meditation, and he wished us to find it for ourselves by doing the same Zazen. Yet, after he had become enlightened, he did not cease to teach its way among his followers, and was often questioned about his truth. Uesaka is an appropriate day to remember one of the most profound answers the Buddha had given his disciples. Do you remember the story of the gathering or Barucho Peak when the Buddha was instructing the multitude? a king of the vicinity, same as offered the Buddha and the golden lotus flower, asking him to preach the law. The Buddha, instead of offering a discourse on the law, merely took the beautiful flower and held it aloft, gazing at in silence. This simple gesture imparted the deepest meaning of the law to this king, his king, who later passed it on to other followers. This story is very simple, significant on this day of the festival of a flower, Hanamatsuri. The golden lotus was long been a symbol used in Buddhism, reminding us of the nature of our lives and what we may become. The lotus flower has its root at the bottom of a muddy pond, and it slowly makes its way up through the cloudy waters to the life-giving sunlight above. It is not until its young bud breaks through the water and reaches the sunlight that its beautiful, delicate flower blossoms forth. Having its origin in the dewy mud, the lotus flower becomes one of the most beautiful seen by men when its long stem finally reaches the warmth of the sun. Human life has been compared to this lotus flower. Man is born into a mortal life. The feeling, the world around him, and the thinking its visible forms conform perfect to its ultimate reality. Most men lived their lives in this sensual world, suffering the pains of a materialistic life, and doing little to brighten their world by enlightening their mind. Without spiritual life, their world lived day by day as a routine of a work, illness, and increasing age. To some, there are enjoyment, but these too are fleeting. Their lives become heavy with monotonous routine and the misfortune of life that come everyone's way in a lifetime. It could be said that this is the mud of a human life. But the Buddha was the living example of the man who can rise above this never-ending circle of life and death, of suffering. The beautiful lotus flower is the blossom that emerges in the light of the sun. The enlightened one is the man who achieved Buddhahood and brings forth the light of humankind. The golden lotus reminds us of the life which can be had. This is the deep meaning of the law which the Buddha taught in silence to the multitude on the peak. In all, there is a Buddha nature. The Buddha said, all beings are endowed with the truth of the Tathagata. All someday can realize the Buddha nature which lies deep within and can become enlightened when the right time comes. That right time can be any time if the mind is empty and freed from selfish thought, evil thought. The time of such purity is like the birth of Shakyamuni Buddha. It is the spring of life. It is the meaning of the simple Japanese poem. 年ごとに昨夜吉野の桜花、木を割ってみよう、花のありかを。In English, only cherry blossom, Yoshino Mountain, cherry blossom tree, but try to cut through and see where is the flower. This short poem tells us that the flower is there on the branch each year in due time. Every year, the beautiful blossom unfold their delicate petals as the springtime breeze below. But during winter, if one tries to cut the branch to find the seed, it is not to be found. When one's mind is not ready, but when it will cut, the dissect and analyze, the flower of the Buddha nature will not appear. But when the spring of life appears and one's heart and mind, the pure Buddha is born. meditation, Zazen, empty the mind, the purified heart, it brings the springtime of life. There is a famous Mondo reported the Suzuki Daisetsu in Columbia University in his book Zen and the Japanese Culture between Riko, the high government official of the Tang dynasty in China, and the Zen master Nansen, the official quoted the well-known scholar of earlier time to have said, "Heaven and earth and I are of the same root. The 10,000 things and I are of the one substance." He continued and asked the Zen master Nansen if this were not the most remarkable statement. The Zen master answered him, calling the official's attention to the flowering petals in the garden and said, "People of the world, look at these flowers as if they were in the dream." The Buddha said a similar thing when he said that all beings are endowed with the truth, but that some were, he thought, unenlightened. Yet he had faith they could become enlightened. The Zen master Nansen felt that the most people do not really know how to look at the flower. They stand away from it. They never grasp the spirit of it. They have no firm hold of it. They are as if dreaming of a flower. Their mind analyzes and decept. There is no grasping the common true nature. Nansen tried to impress upon the official that in heaven and earth, with all the manifold objects between them, issue from the old one root, which you and I also come from, the Buddha nature. This root must be firmly seized upon so that there is an actual experience of it. People in the West are familiar with a poem by Tennyson saying almost the same thing. Tennyson wrote, "Little flower, but if I could understand what you are, root and all in all, I wish know what God and man is." Although in Zen there is no God, we can understand Tennyson's poem to say that if these small flowers were truly understood, truly grasped, heaven and earth, all of life would be truly comprehended. This is the enlightenment. At the birth of the Buddha, one legend tells us that he declared he was a fully enlightened one. Later in his life, he thought a way that all men might follow to enter his enlightened world with him. In the springtime, the Buddha sat with the pure heart and in empty mind in meditation with Zazen under a blooming tree and exclaimed that all the world was beautiful. Let us find this way ourselves by following his example. Let us offer a beautiful flower to the memory of the Buddha today and pour sweetly over the statue of the infant Buddha as an act of devotion. This is the Hanamatsuri. This is the festival of flower. This is the springtime. And for us, it can be the springtime of our life when we too entered into the world of enlightenment.
Please recross your legs, reseat yourselves, making a deep bow. Resume Zazen for the second period. We'll approach the altar for the tea pouring ceremony. Also, Fred, you should join. is now in reciting the Hanya Shingyo in English. Beginning of the ordination ceremony.
I'd like to take a few minutes to explain the meaning and the history of ordination of Zen priests. Traditionally, the main practice has been to award the degree of a priest to a student following a successful examination of a mondo or koan by a Zen master. The koan examination was held before a Zen master and hundreds of priests who would hold koan questions and the priest would candidate, who sometimes received a blow from the Kyosaku stick at the same time. This ceremony is called Hossenshiki in Japanese. In Hossenshiki, many koan would be like a verbal Kyosaku to the priest would candidate, like the bullet in the air. The priest would throw the koan question out from all directions to the wrong candidate. Following a questioning period, the Zen master would judge as to whether or not the candidate would qualify for the degree of a priest. However, the candidate's performance in the Hossenshiki was not the sole determination, though not the sole determined in awarding the priest degree. A candidate's sincerity, his diligence, and his total behavior during the years of apprenticeship would also be taken into consideration. If the candidate seemed to measure up to the high standard set for the priesthood, the degree would be awarded to him. Such a degree is both an honor and a large responsibility. Question. Okay. First, Sangemon and the Sankyemon. Sangemon. Gasaku shodo shoaku go. Gasaku shodo shoaku go. Kaiyu moshi tonjin chi. Kaiyu moshi tonjin chi. Jushin kui shi shou shou. 一切が公開三芸一切が公開三芸三奇右衛門南無帰依仏南無帰依仏南無帰依法南無帰依法南無帰依僧南無帰依僧帰依仏無常僧帰依仏無常僧帰依法理人僧帰依法理人僧帰依僧和合僧帰依僧和合僧帰依仏教帰依仏教帰依法教帰依法教帰依僧教帰依僧教 This is the Hossenshiki question, illogical question and illogical answer. Question answer. In Japanese called koan. Koan question. First question. What is the sound of one hand clapping?
Silence is thunder.
Second question. What is the real meaning of nothingness?
There is nothing, but in this nothingness there are boundless things.
Next question. What is the principle of the Dharma?
Form is emptiness. Emptiness is form.
Next question. Show me your face before your parents were born.
My original nature always exists in the past, present, and future.
Next question. You are at the top of a 100-foot pole. Where do you go?
Take one step.
Last question. What is the most important principle in your life?
Nothing is holy, just vast emptiness.
Kyosa presentation. Please kneel down. Now I present special Zen priest formal practice. This practice, the formal practice for formal Zen priest. Breathe incense offering. Okay. The ceremony of ordination for Mr. Frederick Rossini is finished. I declare that now you are Soto Zen priest, Reverend Frederick Rossini. Congratulations. Then I will send you wallet size certificate. But today, same time, I send you formal Soto Zen priest certificate from Long Beach. But today I present temporary Zen priest degree. This certificate, certificate, So Eiho, Fred Rossini. You are now assigned as a Soto Zen Buddhist priest, 1968, May 11th. Proved by the Long Beach Zen the bishop, headquarters of Language Zen Center. And my title in Japan, Soto Gon Dai Kyoshi. And here, Dr. Zengaku Matsuoka as my signature. Next, special presentation of Gago. We have rocket wheels. It's me. Gago presentation. I explained to you what is Gago. The Gago is a special Zen name given to an ordained Soto Zen priest. It signifies that the priest is formally connected to the patriarch of the Buddhist Dharma that began with the Shakyamuni Buddha and continues to the present. This unbroken lineage is depicted by the Kechimyaku. Kechimyaku meaning a bloodline, a spiritual bloodline. The Kechimyaku is the list of this lineage from Shakyamuni Buddha, Bodhidharma, Dogen Zenji, and all of them teachers. It is graphically depicted as an endlessly flowing, circular red line. The term Osho will not follow the priest name on the Kechimyaku. Osho means the authentic, and it followed all names on the Kechimyaku beginning with the Shakyamuni Buddha. Then this is the Kechimyaku. I show you inside and I explain to you. This is the Kechimyaku, the content inside. Spiritual line from the 2500 years ago, Shakyamuni Buddha's spirit continuously from Shakyamuni Buddha, this Shakyamuni Buddha Osho, to 10 top disciples of Shakyamuni Buddha. And Shakyamuni Buddha 10 top disciple to hear Bodhidharma. And from Bodhidharma, coming down to the Tendo Zen, Nyojo Zen, this is Dogen Zen is master, Nyojo Zen. Then Eiheiji Dogen master. And one after another, Kechimyaku continuously received next by next. Then this is my Kechimyaku name, Zengaku, Soyu, Osho. This Osho is very important. Osho, the authentic Zen priest title. Now, your name next here, Zenkai, Taiyun Osho. So, now you, Zenkai Taiyun Eriston Roshi, and the Shakyamuni Buddha, the Bodhidharma are the same position, same degree. This is the Kechimyaku and meaning of Gago presentation. Gago, the usually Edison Roshi Zen name Taiwan. You need another special Zen name to enter the Jishiketsumiyaku line. So I present your name Zenkai Taiwan Osho. This is a Gago certificate. Gago presentation, Taiwan, Michael Edison. Now your Gago name, Zenkai Taiwan. This is very important signature. Zenkai Taiwan Osho. 1986, May 11th, Long Beach Zen Center headquarters, Bishop, the Soto Shu Bondai Kyoshi degree, Zengaku Matsuoka as a signature. Congratulations. Namaskar. Now you are authentic Zen priest, Osho same as Shakyamuni Buddha's position. Again, congratulations.
ありがとうございます。
どういたしました。Then ceremony is finished. I think I explained myself. さよなら。
Sensei, I would like to express our appreciation for your being here.